All right, everybody, welcome back to SouFLoTV again. It's your host with the most. If you've never been here before, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video is uploaded to SouFLoTV. As you know, we've been following this whole Jovenel Moise assassination thing as it develops, and we've been bringing it to you step by step. We ourselves have been doing our own investigations, digging for names and connections, where they're connected to. We've been following the money. We've been following the sounds. And the last video we put up was pointing to the pastor slash doctor slash businessman, Dr. Sanon, out of Florida, USA, with Haitian background, as the financier. The financier, meaning he was driven by his political ambitions and he gathered the resources, the finances, to get all these people together who ultimately carried out this act. Now, that does not mean that he gave the order to kill Jovenel Moise. And I said that in the last video. They said, SouFlo, follow the money. I did follow it. And we were able to link him to the two wealthy businessmen from the United States of America who did finance him to the tune of over 800,000 US dollars. Now, this new developing information, an arrest warrant has been put out for one person called Joseph Felix Badillo. Joseph Felix Badillo is said to be the person who actually infiltrated what Sanon was dealing with. See, Dr. Sanon wanted to go to the presidential palace, take Jovenel Moise out, as in not take him out by killing him, take him out by arresting him, by putting him on display, and by transferring him to another location, and then he himself, Sanon, would seize power and become the president of Haiti. That was Sanon's plan. However, Badillo, Joseph Felix Badillo, who had contacts with the same Colombian mercenaries, he had other intentions. According to documents that have come forward and information coming forward, it is said that he gave the go-ahead. He specifically said, when we go to get him, this will not be to arrest him, this will be to assassinate him. And I'm going to tell you in a minute who he told that to. You know right now what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of people have been arrested behind this. I believe 23 people so far have been arrested behind this. And if you don't know it, the interrogation process after they have been arrested, this is not your Law and Order TV show where some detective in a dress shirt and slacks and dress shoes with a gun on his hip and a badge on his waist is going to ask questions and might punch the desk every now and then when he gets something that he doesn't see as the right answer. We're talking about interrogation. We're talking about interrogation third world country style. We are talking about pressure. And you know what they say about pressure? It makes diamonds, but pressure also bursts pipes. So people are talking, okay? And what we've learned so far is that Joseph Felix Badillo, if you don't know who he is a former Haitian Ministry of Justice. He also worked in the Anti-Corruption Commission with the General Intelligence Service in Haiti. 3 days before the act, 3 days before the planned attack on Jovenel Moise's private residence, he took aside Duberney Capador and German Rivera. Duberney Capador, and German Rivera are two military personnel or ex-military personnel, highly ranking officers from the Colombian military who were also involved in this operation. One was killed, and the other is still alive and is talking. One that is still alive and is talking has said that he was instructed by Joseph Felix Badeo to assassinate Jovenel Moise, not to arrest him, not to detain him, but to assassinate him. This is 3 days before they carried out the attack. Now, up until that moment, they thought they were assembling to help Haiti restore democracy, remove someone who had gone rogue and had become somewhat of a dictator. And they were happy to go and help on this mission. That is their excuse so far. And the whole time they were planning, because they had been planning this with people in place in the Dominican Republic and in Haiti since January, planning this move. So to be told 3 days before the move that, hey, this is not a arrest, this is not a detain, you must assassinate him when you get in there, that is where the mission changed. Now, we don't know if this is true or if they're just lying to save themselves, but this is what they have been told. Now, for a little FYI for a lot of you, 23 arrests have been made so far. 18 of them are former Colombian soldiers. 5 Haitian Americans. CCTV footage from inside the president's residence reveals exactly what happened. Exactly who did what. But Haitian officials said that they are not ready to reveal those footage yet. Now, I would ask, why not reveal the footage to the public and let the public be the judge? Are they doctoring the images? Are they splicing the footage? What are they doing? Why are they holding it such secret? Now, Badeo, you must know, he was a little bit bitter as well. Badeo was actually fired in May 17th. This is Badeo, Joseph Felix Badeo, who is the former Haitian Ministry of Justice, and he also worked in the Anti-Corruption Commission with the General Intelligence Service, and he is the one that the mercenaries have confessed told them 3 days before that they are no longer going to detain Jovenel Moise. They must assassinate him when they get there. Badeo was actually fired on May 17th from his position at the Anti-Corruption Unit due to serious breaches of professional conduct. 24 Haitian police officers are also under precautionary measures right now with limited movement because they were at the residence the night when all this went down and the assassination took place. To include the head of security as well. 4 officers are said to have been working with Badeo to neutralize security at the president's residence to facilitate easy access for the mercenaries. 1 of those has been arrested and 3 more are in hiding. This group of 4 is not a part of the 24 that were placed on precautionary measures. And these precautionary measures are that they were to stay in their residence and they were to report once a day to a certain location to law enforcement. 24 of them have been placed on this, including Gerard, which is the head of all the securities, right? The other 4 they're talking about, they were not a part of the president's security detail either. These 4 were actually doing personal security work for Badeo. At the moment, the 3 most wanted, 3 arrest warrants have been issued. Joseph Felix Badeo is one. Rodolphe Jar, aka Dodolph, is another one, and John Joel Joseph are another one. Charges of murder, armed burglary, and attempted murder have been levied against the three. John Joel Joseph is a former senator in the opposition to Jovenel Moise's party. You see, this is deeply inside work from the Haitian administration. Now, authorities in Haiti have been seeking a former senator, which is John Joel Joseph, a fired government official, and a convicted cocaine smuggler as suspects in this investigation. The convicted cocaine smuggler would be Rodolphe Jar, aka Dodoff. Now, this sprawling investigation has taken all kinds of crazy turns, and this seems like some kind of a Hollywood movie script at this point, with the US-based Haitian pastor and the Florida-based security team. Amid a continuing power struggle in Haiti right now, the latest suspects are among 5 fugitives with whom Haitian police are saying are armed and are dangerous. Now, here's some added information about this. In a video posted last year on YouTube, Joseph compared Jovenel Moise to the coronavirus. And he said in that video that Haitians had died from hunger or had been killed amid the rise in violence under Moise's administrations. Insecurity has infected every single Haitian, he said. Police identified the other suspect, Joseph Felix Badillo, which I told you already. He had previously worked for Haiti's Ministry of Justice and had joined the government anti-corruption unit in May of 2013 is when he joined. He was fired recently from his position due to ethical violations. The third suspect, Rodolphe Jar uses the alias Whiskey. And in 2013, Jar had been sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison. And at his sentencing hearing in 2015, Jar's attorney told the courts that Jar had been a confidential source for the U.S. government for several years before his indictment. I don't know what kind of confidential source he had been. Was he a informant for the DEA as well? Is this a burnt link? The rabbit hole gets deeper. Now, the details of the new suspects emerged as relatives of the Colombian mercenaries killed and arrested in Haiti for their alleged part in the assassination said that they had been recruited with a text message telling them that an American company needed special forces and commandos with experience for a job in Central America. If you know about the commandos in Colombia, they train and then they are off into the world. People use them. Governments use them. The United States of America has used them in the Middle East as mercenaries. And yes, even though we have a military, they do employ paramilitary personnel. Now, according to the New York Post, most appear to have been approached in the months before Moise's killing by a group of businessmen, some of them based in the US, who exaggerated their credentials and misled some of the recruits about the project that they were about to undertake and about how much they would get paid. Now, authorities in Haiti are investigating Moise's killing with help from the Colombian government, which has said that 23 of the 26 former soldiers suspected in the slaying have been arrested and they remain detained in Haiti. Leon Charles, chief of Haiti's national police, said that 3 Haitians also had been arrested and at least 3 suspects have been killed so far. The detained Haitians have been identified as James Solages Joseph Vincent, and Christian Emmanuel Sanon, all Haitian background, American citizenship. Police said that, Sanon flew in on the private jet and all that, but when he flew in on a private jet, whose private jet was it? And who else was on that private jet with him? The 62-year-old is a Haitian physician, a church pastor, and a businessman, and he expressed his desire to lead Haiti. And he denounced the country's leader, which is Jovenel Moïse, as a corrupted individual. Charles said that Sanon was only working with those who plotted the assassination and that Moïse killers were actually protecting Sanon. He said that officers who raided Sanon's house in Haiti found the hat with the DEA logo, the 20 box of bullets, gun parts, 4 license plates from the Dominican Republic, 2 cars, and correspondence. Here's where things get sticky. Apparently, the security team had been divided into 2 parts. There was one part of the security team that knew about the intention to kill Moïse before it happened. Another part of the security team actually were made to believe that they were going to provide security for Sanon. And they were going to be a part of the removal process of Jovenel Moïse, not by killing him, but by protecting Sanon and seizing Jovenel Moïse's residence, issuing his arrest warrant, and taking him out of where he was located to a different location to be handed over to government officials, law enforcement authorities. So there was one part of the security team that was working against the other part. So the ones who did not actually know what they were doing, they were full into the mission, thinking, okay, this is what it required. I've seen a video where right after the shooting of Jovenel Moïse, a Haitian journalist was driving up the hill, and as he was driving up the hill, you can see, this video you can see on CNN, as he was driving up the hill, 2 Colombian men emerged from the drainage, the sewer area, holding 2 rifles, and they asked him to stop filming, and keep going up the hill. As the journalist got to the gate of Jovenel Moïse's residence, lo and behold, there was James Solanges, the American, sitting on the steps of the house, and he was giving a live interview to a Haitian radio station. And on that interview, he was saying, "We did not kill the president." They seem to have been very confused as to what had happened, and they did not know if they were to surrender or if they were to fight or run. Many of them ended up fighting, and most of them ended up being captured. This rabbit hole gets deeper. Smoke screens everywhere. I still think that even though they are saying that Badeo, Joseph Felix Badeo, actually gave the order, changed the mission from what Sanon had the mission down to be, I still think there's somebody above Badeo. I think he's working with more powerful people, and I think there's more smoke screen here. Stay tuned to the channel as we continue to dig and as they continue to investigate and to let out information. Click that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified the next time a video is uploaded to SouFLoTV. And we'll be here for the ride. I'll catch you then. I'm out. Peace.